As the Spring Festival arrives, Jiang Qinlin's fish restaurant becomes quiet, which seldom happens during the year. In the small, hot kitchen where he practiced his apprenticeship at the age of 15, Jiang Qinlin never thought that he would own such a big kitchen. Now the elderly man, who has been a cook for 50 years, plans to retire from his kitchen. After the Spring Festival, Jiang Qinling will hand the fish restaurant over to his son. Apart from having tea and occasionally resting beside the kitchen stove, he will have time to go back to his hometown in Shandong. Jiang Qinlin's fish restaurant is well known in the Songhua Lake area. A restaurant that is usually already full in the morning surely offers something special. In fact, there are many fish restaurants in the small town, and they offer different flavors. The secret for the prosperity of fish restaurants could well be in the fish that come from the Songhua River. Jiang Qinling often calls the experience of coming to Jilin at the age of 11 blinding. Working in fisheries during his childhood, the shoals of fish that swarm the lake were his first impression of Songhua Lake.
那时候大鱼呢，6几年、17几年，正是松花湖鱼呢比较多，胖头、白鲢，还有这些个野生鱼，就是站到湖边上，就是甩个毛钩，往起一拉，红尾白鱼就咬钩上来。就那么多鱼。
The Songhua River flows through Jilin City and is intercepted by the Fengmen hydropower station, where it forms a reservoir in the mountains called Songhua Lake. Songhua Lake zigzags and stretches out with many tributaries. It is the largest lake in Jilin province and the largest artificial lake in northeast China. After the lively scene of the opening of the Songhua River in spring, the surface of the water in Wangqi fishery during the summer solstice looks tranquil. The fishery in the bay of Songhua Lake is abundant in fish and provides fresh aquatic products to fish restaurants in the town throughout the year. Many rare fish that are seldom caught have already sold out before they have even reached the bank. So Jiang Yangfeng, Jiang Qinlin's son, draws in the net with fishermen on the river every day. As he has been visiting fisheries with his father since childhood, Jiang Yangfeng is pretty familiar with the lake's produce. He has purchased food for his father's fish restaurant for over 10 years. Although there are not many fish in the summer, a dozen different types of fish still fill the compartments after the net has been drawn in several times. What Jiang Yangfeng chooses will be on his father's menu. Carp, crucians, silver carp, and even the big head carp are quite common. If they're lucky, they might catch mandarin fish, white amur bream, spotted steeds and whitefish, which are pretty rare. These fish are famous specialities from the lake, and his father's fish restaurant has been prosperous for dozens of years thanks to dishes made with these river fish. The apprentices that worked in the kitchen have gone back home to celebrate the Spring Festival. Jiang Qinling stays in the kitchen alone because according to the Jiang family rules, he has to cook the Spring Festival reunion dinner. The elderly man doesn't get many chances to work at the kitchen stove anymore. The 4 specialities that they've specially ordered, mandarin fish, white amur bream, spotted steeds and white fish, are rarely found in the bay of the lake's fishery during winter. He's going to prepare a feast consisting of Songhua Lake fish that he used to cook for customers, but this time it's for his family. Of the first 3 specialities from the Songhua River, the mandarin fish is the most expensive. This type of fish has a fierce temperament and feeds on smaller fish, but it has tender and delicious flesh. It only needs to be stewed in a pot over a high heat to produce a thick soup. Jiang Qinling seals the white amur bream, which looks like wuchan bream, with tin foil, roasts it on a stone hot plate and then pours on the sauce. Spotted steeds that have a flesh that looks like garlic cloves are fried and stewed according to the traditional northeastern cooking method. The last speciality, white fish, is a must-have during the Spring Festival. People from Jilin that live beside rivers have a conventional habit whereby they have to eat fried white fish at family gatherings during the Spring Festival and other festivals. Large white fish is the most valuable white fish in Songhua Lake. In the past, this white fish from Jilin was presented to the Qing imperial family. But nowadays, many ordinary families buy and steam the fish to celebrate the Spring Festival. Jiang Qinling makes fishball soup with the white fish's flesh. Opera singers are best at singing, and cooks are best at cooking soup. The heat is well under control, and the soup is simmering, while the fish balls are put into the pot at different intervals, ensuring that they are equally flexible. 40 years ago, Jiang Qinling applied the method of making meatballs from his hometown in Shandong and started making white fish ball soup. To begin with, he made the soup because it was a good fish for fishermen to eat, and later it became a dish that influenced his life and something that he wants to pass on to his descendants. Braised yellowhead catfish with sauce, stewed bighead carp in an iron pot, guo bao fried fish and fried starchy ice fish are cooked in succession. Not afraid of the trouble, Jiang Qinling makes all of the fish dishes, each of which can be served as a main course, and they enrich the Spring Festival fish banquet. Unlike the 5 traditional flavors, these fish dishes have a delicious, delicate flavor. Songhua Lake not only provides people with food, but also dictates their diets. Chinese people have to have a fish dish during Spring Festival, which represents their hopes for enjoying a surplus of wealth every year. With close ties to fish, this family uses the fish banquet to express their deep affection for each other. The Songhua River flows on as the elderly man quietly continues his life of making fish dishes and brings hope for the continuous prosperity of the fish restaurant. Over these years, people have become closely connected to the large river in front of their homes.